A very good afternoon and thank you for joining us on Beetv News Updates at 3. I am Ruth Obodu and now the news in detail. The Youth and Parliament Forum, an affiliate of the House of Representatives Committee on Youth, has unveiled an ICT initiative aimed at empowering 1 million young Nigerians nationwide. The program also seeks to train 100,000 youths in electronic vehicle maintenance and repair as part of efforts to enhance technical and digital skills development. The report.
The Youth Empowerment Forum was established to provide platform for young Nigerians to participate in elective and appointive offices. Its mandate includes preparing youth for decision-making, leadership development, and the promotion of national unity. The forum says it has so far empowered thousands of youths across various fields of human endeavor. As the 2027 general elections approaches, it plans to mobilize 20 million Nigerian youths to participate in the polls and support the election of younger candidates into governance. Beyond politics, the forum is pursuing youth empowerment through partnerships with the international community. It aims to empower 1 million young Nigerians in information and communications technology, while also training 100,000 youths nationwide in electronic vehicle maintenance and repair.
We're looking at cyber security fundamentals. We're looking at data protection and privacy. We're offering data analytics. We're offering cloud computing and data governance.
We have a total of 100,000 training slots, and it runs in the same format as the ICT training. So we've divided it again. 2,000 slots go to each of the 36 states plus the FCT.
Both initiatives are being implemented in collaboration with state governments, the Federal Capital Territory, Nigeria's 19 registered political parties, and the 6 regional development commissions. In addition, 45,000 slots have been reserved for persons with disabilities, members of the media, and other beneficiaries not covered at the state level.
We're not keeping our eyes off from the oversight to ensure that this is done properly.
We're not just looking for people who are saying youth inclusion, women inclusion, and things like that. We're actually saying if you want to be included, be credible. If you want to be included, be able to have the capacity to take on the jobs that you're asking for.
The forum says it has put in motion measures to monitor the states and ensure that the initiatives are enjoyed by the target audience. Temitope Oluwafemi reporting for Beetv News.
The Katsina state government says it has disbursed more than 45.8 billion in life and death benefits to 15,560 former and deceased public sector workers. Governor Diko Rada announced the completion of the payments, including a final tranche amounting to 21 billion. The report.
The disbursement settles accrued gratuity liabilities owed to state and local government employees and their families between 2019 and 2025. The payments represent a significant financial commitment by the state governments toward clearing outstanding entitlements. According to official figures, 18.56 billion naira was paid to 4,743 retirees from the state civil service. In addition, 27,033 billion naira was released to 9,817 beneficiaries from local government councils and local education authorities. The state government said the exercise was aimed at easing the financial burden on retirees and the families of deceased workers while restoring confidence in the public service system.
It is our resolve to treat retirees and those that die in active service with dignity, respect, and strong sense of social responsibility. From the time I started nursing the idea to contest for the seat of the governor of Katsina State, one of my main visions I had was how to develop a workable strategy to settle all outstanding liabilities of benefit of workers of the state and local government.
The governor links the payments to broader reforms of the state's pension system, which he said are aimed at aligning it with international standards. A key aspect of the reforms is the recently enacted Katsina State Contributory Pension Law of 2025. The state government said the new law is intended to eliminate administrative delays, ensure the prompt payment of pensions and gratuities, and restore confidence in the pension system. system.
I wish to once again, on behalf of workers of the state, local governments, and local education authorities, to express our sincere appreciation to Her Excellency for rejuvenating the service and giving hope and determination to the people of Katsina State.
All in all, the sum of 45 billion 885.
A member of the House of Representatives for the constituency noted that the project was sponsored within the past 2 years, making a significant step in educational development.
In the area of education, we are proud to state that we have facilitated the construction of a total of 175 classrooms with full furniture. We have established new schools in educationally underserved areas within Ekpe Federal Constituency.
Ekpe Grammar School and Temu Community Secondary School in Ekoagoyi were the beneficiaries of a comprehensive federal intervention. At Ekpe Grammar School, commissioned projects included newly constructed 100-beds hostels for girls and boys, and a reconstructed principal lounge, a fully functioned staff quarters and hall, and a mini stadium. Temu Community Secondary School received a fully functioned block of 12 classrooms and a vice principal office to support the takeoff of a senior secondary school. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tony, commended the intervention, emphasizing the federal government's continuous commitment to providing quality education across Nigeria.
This intervention aligns squarely with the new agenda of our president, which places human capital development, particularly education, at the center of national transformation. It also reflects a broader commitment at the Federal Ministry of Education to work collaboratively with sub-national governments, legislators, and community leaders to uplift education standards across our country.
Students at Ekpe Grammar School and Temu Community Secondary School expressed excitement over the new facilities, saying that they will significantly improve learning conditions.
And I'm so happy today because my school is one of the lucky schools that is having this kind of facilities.
He did the junior school, he did the senior school, so we are going to appreciate him and we are expecting more from him.
The commissioning ceremony concluded with the stakeholders affirming that basic education serves as a catalyst for transforming human capital into international capital, creating a virtuous circle of development. Precious Agbolahor reporting for Beetv News.
Troops of Operation RDK have repelled assaults on military bases, killing dozens of terrorists in follow-up air and ground operations in parts of Adamawa, Damaturu, and Borno states. The Nigerian military has confirmed that on January 16, 2026, terrorists attempted to attack a patrol base at Saboni, Madagali local government area, Adamawa state. In the early hours of the day, troops engaged the attackers swiftly with reinforcement from Gulak and the battalion's quick reaction force. The assault was successfully repelled without any casualties or damage to military equipment. The area was later cleared of improvised explosive devices and booby traps. On the same day, terrorists launched a large-scale, multi-directional attack on a forward operating base in Borno State. The troops, supported by air components of Operation RDK, engaged the attackers in a firefight lasting over an hour, forcing them to withdraw. During the attack, rocket-propelled grenades damaged troop-carrying vehicles and the CCTV control room. Several weapons and ammunition were recovered, including 60mm mortar bombs, locally fabricated explosive, and hundreds of rounds of 7.62mm ammunition. Fleeing terrorists were attacked by intelligence and surveillance platforms, leading to airstrikes that killed additional insurgents. The military stated that troops remain on the ground and in the air, continuing operations to deny terrorists freedom of action across the northeast. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Ali Pat, alongside the Director General of the National Health Insurance Authority, Kelechi Oire, has inaugurated the NHIA prototype building in Owerri, Imo State. The minister described the inauguration as a significant milestone in Nigeria's efforts to strengthen the health insurance system and expand financial protection for citizens. Professor Pat emphasized that expanding health insurance coverage remains central to achieving universal health coverage in Nigeria. The chairman of the Presidential Tax Form Committee, Taiwo Oyedele, has said that the issuance of guidelines for implementing the new tax law has been delayed due to uncertainty over the final guaranteed version. He made the remarks during the 2026 Economic Outlook organized by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. Policy makers, industry leaders, and top professionals at the event advised the federal and state governments to deepen accountability and transparency in execution. Vice President Kashim Shettima has arrived in Conakry, Guinea, to represent President Tinubu at the inauguration of President-elect Mahdi Doumbouya. It was received by top Guinean government officials and members of Nigeria's diplomatic mission ahead of the ceremony scheduled for tomorrow. President Doumbouya's inauguration followed his victory in Guinea's December 2025 general elections, marking the former end of the country's 4-year military transition. Vice President Shettima's presence highlights Nigeria's leadership role within ECOWAS and his continued support for constitutional governance and regional stability. The European Union has officially removed Nigeria from its list of high-risk jurisdictions for money laundering and terrorism financing. The decision, published on the European Commission's website, follows Nigeria's exit from the Financial Action Task Force Grey List in 2025. The EU Commission stated that the update aligns with the outcome of FATF plenary meetings held in June and October 2025, during which several countries were removed from the list of jurisdictions under increasing monitoring. Nigeria and the other delisted countries have strengthened the effectiveness of their anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing regimes, close key technical and operational gaps, and fulfill the commitments set out in their FATF action plans. Other countries removed from the list include Burkina Faso, Mali, South Africa, and Tanzania. And now to the business news. The United Nations World Food Programme has warned that about 55 million people across West and Central Africa could face crisis levels of hunger or worse during the June and August 2026 lean season if urgent funding and humanitarian action are not mobilized. The worsening situation is being driven by conflicts, displacement, and significant reductions in humanitarian assistance across the region. The report.
Nigeria is among the 4 most affected countries alongside Chad, Cameroon and Niger, which together accounts for 77% of the region's food insecure population. In Nigeria, about 15,000 people in Borno State are at risk of catastrophic hunger, classified as IPC Phase 5, marking the first time in nearly a decade that such conditions have been recorded in the state amid prolonged insurgency and shrinking aid support. The WFP also projected that more than 13 million children across West and Central Africa would suffer acute malnutrition in 2026. According to the latest Cadell Harmonize analysis, over 3 million people are expected to face emergency levels of food insecurity this year, more than double the figure recorded in 2020. Transport Films seeks stronger collaboration on road safety. Okeson Transport has reiterated its commitment to passenger safety, stating that it operates in line with standard operating procedures that comply with the guidelines of the Federal Road Safety Commission. The company made this known following a recent engagement between its management team and road safety officials. The visit was led by the Managing Director of Okeson Transport, Charles Oke Udeji, alongside other senior officials of the company. Discussions during the engagement focused on improving road safety standards, strengthening driver professionalism, and enhancing collaboration between transport operators and regulatory authorities. Meanwhile, the Federal Road Safety Corps reported that more than 3,400 people lost their lives in road crashes across Nigeria between January and September 2025. The Corps attributed the fatalities and over 22,000 injuries recorded within the period to reckless driving, human error, driver fatigue, overloading, phone use while driving, and other preventable safety violations. MAN backs tax law to aid recovery. The Manufacturing Association of Nigeria and the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform, Taiwo Oyedele, has expressed support for the newly enacted tax law, saying they are aimed at helping Nigerian businesses recover, regain competitiveness, and expand into regional markets after years of multiple taxation and policy inconsistencies. Speaking at a stakeholders engagement in Lagos, Oyedele noted that the previous tax regime made Nigerian manufacturers uncompetitive even with the domestic market, as imported goods often landed cheaper despite freight and duty costs. He warned that without reforms, Nigeria risking losing jobs and investment to neighboring countries, especially under the African Continental Free Trade Area. Oyedele explained that manufacturers have faced disproportionately high effective tax rates due to numerous legal and illegal levies imposed by various actors. He said the new reforms are focused on economic growth rather than punitive taxation, stressing that a more supportive business environment would allow companies to grow, increase output, and ultimately generate higher government revenue. Temitope Oluwafemi reporting for
A bipartisan group of U.S. lawmakers met with Danish and Greenland officials in Denmark this week in a bid to foster dialogue and reduce tensions following President Donald Trump's controversial remarks about the potential purchase or annexation of Greenland. The report.
The meetings, described by participants as constructive and cordial, focused on strengthening U.S., Danish and U.S. Greenland relations, particularly in areas of security, trade, and Arctic cooperation. Lawmakers stressed that diplomacy and cooperation are central to the U.S. approach, aiming to reassure Greenland and Denmark of Washington's long-term commitment to the region. The purpose of our visit is to engage directly and listen carefully, said one U.S. lawmaker who participated in the delegation. We want to maintain strong partnerships in the Arctic and ensure misunderstandings do not escalate tensions. Danish officials welcomed the dialogue, noting that Greenland is an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark and that any discussions regarding sovereignty must respect that framework. Greenland representatives also emphasized their interest in continued cooperation on economic development, environmental protection, and Arctic security. The trip comes after President Trump's comments about buying Greenland drew international attention and criticism, prompting Denmark's Prime Minister to describe the idea as absurd. Lawmakers said the meetings were designed to return discussions to a more diplomatic and cooperative pact addressing strategic interests without undermining the autonomy of Greenland. Observers say the delegation's visit signals a bipartisan effort in Congress to maintain calm and constructive relations in the Arctic, amid growing global attention to the region's geopolitical and economic importance. Temitope Oluwafemi reporting for Beetv News.
And now to the entertainment news. Reality star Fina has claimed that she's yet to receive the 100 million prize she won after emerging winner of the Big Brother Naija reality show in 2022. She made the revelation during a recent live stream with her fans, revisiting an issue she had earlier raised publicly in 2024. The report.
According to FINA, the prize package from the organizers MultiChoice Nigeria remains incomplete, with several components still outstanding. She listed the unpaid elements to include cash equivalents and all expenses paid trip for two and product supplies from some sponsors attached to the show. She said the prolonged delay has negatively affected both her personal life and career, forcing her to continue speaking out despite criticism. Although MultiChoice Nigeria has previously stated that it fulfilled all its obligations to the winner, Fina insists the matter remains unresolved and says she went public after her earlier complaints were ignored. A viral video has captured the moment Super Eagles star Victor Boniface reached out to popular Nigerian TikToker Pella during a live stream. The interaction followed Boniface surprising the content creator with virtual gifts on TikTok. During their phone conversation, Pella questioned why Boniface decided to call him, while also expressing appreciation for the gesture. Boniface in response appeared amused and asked if Pella was raising his voice at him, prompting a light-hearted exchange between both parties. The moment came days after Pella publicly pledged to reward Ademola Lookman with 500,000 naira for every goal scored against Morocco in the AFCON semi-final. However, Nigeria lost the match 4-2 on penalties and will now face Egypt in the third-place playoffs. Singer Speed Darlington has reacted to the Super Eagles failure to win the Africa Cup of Nations, expressing apparent satisfaction following Nigeria's elimination from the tournament. The national team crashed out after losing 4-2 on penalties to host nation Morocco in the semi-final. The tightly contested encounter ended in a goalless draw after regulation time and extra time before Nigeria missed two sport kicks during the shootouts. The Super Eagles had hoped to secure a fourth AFCON title but saw their campaign come to an abrupt end. Reacting to social media, Speed Darlington linked the team's defeat to Nigerian politics, suggesting that the ruling party could not claim the team's performance as an achievement. Following the loss, Nigeria will now face Egypt in the third-place playoffs as they aim to secure a bronze medal. And that's it on the entertainment news. Evelyn is reporting for Beetv News.
And that is all on our 3 p.m. news update. Thank you for joining and stay tuned at our major news at 6. I am Ruth Obodu. Bye for now.